here's my Gary Busey story. Remember when Gary Busey was in that movie, The Firm? He played a hitman in that movie. He was trying to kill Tom Cruise. Well, anyway, he was in Memphis, and my first encounter with him was in B.B. King's club. I didn't really encounter. My co-worker did. I was a doorman at B.B. King's, but I was in there one night. I was off work, and the doorman, I seen him talking to Gary Busey, and I could tell it was kind of a uneasy conversation. So I asked him, what's the deal? What was Gary Busey over here saying to you? And his name was Randy, the doorman. Randy was like, well, he wanted me to get them table of people over there to quit staring at him. I said, what'd you tell him? He said, well, I told him he's a celebrity and this is a public place and I can't make people quit staring at him. And he sort of demanded I did for a moment, but I turned him down and he just went on about his way. I was, okay, all right. So, like I said, we both thought that was kind of odd. But then I thought no more of it. And next night, I had worked that night. I was on my way home. I stopped by the Peabody Hotel by the lobby at closing, just to see if there was anybody there in the lobby that I knew and all. But anyway, there wasn't too many people there. I was about to leave, and this girl named Leslie came in, and I knew her from Beale Street and B.B. King's Club. And like I say, everybody knew Leslie. She was pretty cool. But she was getting some drinks. She was staying there at the Peabody. She was getting some drinks, and she asked the bartender, Doc. Some of y'all might know Doc. He was bartender down at Peabody for years in the lobby, and I think he got promoted. I think he's probably way higher now. And but good guy. And they asked Doc. She asked Doc if he could help her take the drinks to her room. And Doc, of course, declined. Him being the bartender, he can't leave the bar just to help somebody carry drinks to their room. It was like 6 big old champagne glasses, and there wasn't any room service or waitress or anything to help. So of course, me being the gentleman that I am, I volunteered my services. I was like, well, Leslie, I'll help you take them drinks up there to your room. She said, oh. So I know what you're thinking, but it wasn't like it at all, because Leslie, I knew that she was like a rock and roll chick. She likes the artists, long hair types. I knew I didn't fit the bill, but like I say, being a nice guy I am, I knew I'd carry the drinks up and come on back downstairs. So we're walking in the hallway, and she ain't told me nothing about nobody in the room or who's up here, nothing like that. But it turns out we're walking in the hallway, and all of a sudden, out of the little section where the ice machine is, out steps Gary Busey. And he's standing there with a bucket of ice in his hand, and he looked at her, and she looked at him, and it was an uneasy moment. And Gary Busey says, who in the hell is this guy? And the girl tells him, well, this is Wayne. He's the doorman down there at B.B. King's. I know him. He's a good guy, and he's helping me carry the drinks to the room. There wasn't no employees that could do it. So Gary Busey, about that time, goes into this rant and says, he ain't no doorman. He ain't no doorman at B.B. King's. This guy's a reporter for the National Enquirer. Don't you know that? Oh, and I was like, whoa, dude. I said, I ain't here. I ain't got nothing. I'm just carrying these drinks. I said, here, Leslie. I set them down. I set the drinks down on the little table in the hallway there. I said, I'm sorry if I created a problem for you, Leslie. I didn't say nothing to him. He was steady ranting. Oh, reporter, trying to get the good. I said, I'm sorry. And I eased on down the road. Like I say, I knew that it wasn't my place to say nothing there. I didn't want to get no trouble going with no Hollywood type. I couldn't win in that situation. Main security come up, throw me out, think I'm some stalker or something. So anyway, I left the two of them at it. He was pretty upset with her. Well, I'm sure it wasn't no problem after that. But needless to say, I didn't really think too much of Gary Busey after that. He's a great actor, though. I ain't gonna take nothing away from Gary Busey. He is a fantastic actor. So, anyway, yeah, I'm sorry it couldn't have been a more positive experience, but that's what happened. So, I'm out of here. I'll record another video soon. I don't know what I'll talk about. Maybe about the time I got to meet Peter Tork, from the Monkeys. Hey with the Monkeys. Maybe I'll tell y'all about that. Really, I got enough time to tell y'all that story now on the same video. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I got 5 minutes left. Peter Tork won't take long, but I had seen Peter Tork one day downtown Memphis, and I saw him and this girl, and I could tell they were like Haight Ashbury '60s era hippies. During the '80s. I mean, they had the whole Haight Ashbury, Timothy Leary thing going. With the exception of the hallucinogenics. I mean, they're very sober, spiritual type people. I heard them talking, and and I just overheard them talking to some other people one day. And as they talked, as the male of the group, who ended up being Peter Tork, as he spoke, uh, I just had this little intuition that told me that's a famous person. I don't know why. Like I'm a little bit intuitive, like psychic, just a little bit, not much, but enough that that day it just kind of, for some reason that guy seems like a famous person. But I thought no more of it. So later that day, I was in the same Walgreens that I met Susan Sarandon in, and and as I was leaving, as I was going out the door, it turned out that Peter Tork and the girl that he was with, she was from San Francisco. I think she was San Francisco and he was New York, and said they had been friends for years and they would meet up once a year somewhere in the middle of America. This year they had picked Memphis. So I heard them say that earlier, and so um, as I was leaving the Walgreens, I opened the door for them. They were coming out at the same time I was, and I said, "Hey, didn't I see y'all earlier?" I said, "Oh yeah, 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 I remember." I said, "Yeah, when y'all were talking," I said, "for just some odd reason, I had this little voice in the back of my head saying that you were a famous person." I told the guy that, and he said, "Well, at one time my public persona was a famous person, so I guess you're right." And I said, "Really? Are you anybody that I may have ever heard of?" And he said, "Have you ever heard of Peter Tork?" I said, "Peter Tork from the Monkees?" "Oh, incoming call. What do they think I'm getting paid to answer the phone? I'm trying to make videos on YouTube, trying to get famous here." But anyway, listen, I'm just kidding about the famous thing. I just like blogging. But anyway, Peter Tork was real cool, and I shook his hand, and that was about that. But I'm gonna get this phone. I'll make y'all another video later. I'm out.